Kara. Welcome to my craft room. I have made every single one of Cricut's intricate pop-up cards. So let's try something new. This combines a regular greeting card with a box card. And I just think they're adorable. So when you send it and you put it in the envelope, you fold it like this. You don't have to do a cover on this, nothing fancy. And I will give you step-by-step instructions that'll make this really easy to make. And it's very impressive. So when you open it, this is what you get. It's really easy to display. So let's go make it. Okay, here we are on the front page. We want a new project. So just hit new project. Then we are going to have to look up a bunch of images, and I will show you how to do that. All Cricut images start with hashtag capital M. Okay, so all of these are going to be the exact same, and the card is 24B1 E8A. E8A. There we go. There it is. It's just a blank card. Okay. Now, you see you've got a whole list of these images. You don't want to, you're not going to sit here and watch me type in every single number. So you go ahead and pull up all of these images. You'll hit insert, and you can either line them up all along the bottom here and insert once, or you can hit insert each time. Go ahead and load up all of these images on the canvas, and I'll meet you there. I'm just going to fast forward from here. I'll meet you there, and we'll get all the measurements and colors and stuff done, and then you'll be ready to cut. Now we have our everything on our canvas. Now on this card, it's going to take us a little longer to set everything up on the canvas. But the nice thing is once we go to make the card, it's going to go fast. Some cards are short on the canvas, long on the actual putting together. And some, like this one, are going to be longer on the canvas, shorter on the craft table. So here's your blank card. We're going to change the size, but first we need to ungroup these two. So you're going to go down here and hit ungroup. There we go. Now, if you're going to make the envelope, you're going to have this whole card can be done with 8.5 by 11 cardstock, but for the envelope, you're going to have something bigger. And if you are, I'm going to go ahead and give you the dimensions, and then I'm going to hide it so it's not in our way since it takes up so much room. So for this, you see down here between the width and the height, there's a little lock button. For this, we're going to have to unlock it, okay? Because we don't care about it keeping its aspect ratio. So the width is going to be 11.5. And then the height is going to be 8.85. Okay, there you go. That gives you an envelope the size that you're going to need for this particular card. Now, and I'll talk about that when I get on the craft table. Okay, we're going to hide it. We're going to go to layers, and then see this little eye at the bottom? We're going to hit that. It's still here. It's just hidden from our view because it's too big. It's in our way. Okay, so we are going to change the size of the card. We want this to be a 5x7 card. And we're going to keep that lock unlocked for just a minute or two more. So your width is going to be 10. And your height is going to be 7. Okay, that means when it's folded, it'll be 5x7. Okay, now before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and hit this lock button again and lock it back up. Okay, so yeah, let's finish getting all of our, first let's get our card and our whole base done. So first thing I need you to do, we're going to put a score line in here. Okay, so you're going to go down here to shapes. It's right next to text. Okay, and then we want a line. Now, when Cricut puts a line up, it's already a score line because it's a dotted line. Okay, and you can turn that into a cut line by going over here where it says score under edit. And right now we know this card is 7 inches high, so we need a 7-inch line. There we go. Now I'm going to put this all the way up to the 0 so I can make sure that I put this in the right spot. I'm going to get up here close where I can see really well the measurement. Okay, let me pull it down so I've got it right at 0 and 0. And I need this half of the front of this card. So I am going to put this right there at 2.5. Okay. So that's all you got to do. And then I'm going to shrink it back. I'm going to drag my finger or my mouse across everything. Grab it all. Okay. Because I've got to tell Cricut to put that score line on this piece of paper. So I drag it all and then I'm going to hit attach down here. Right there. There you go. Now. Look, now that score line is attached. Now we need the front side of it, the banner part, and it's going to be just like this, only flipped around. So we need to duplicate it. Okay, and then we're going to change the size, and we're going to unlock the button again. We want the 10-inch width to stay the same, and the height is going to be 2 inches. There you go. I am trying to get in the habit of locking and unlocking this when I'm done because otherwise everything gets messed up. Now this is our front. This is going to be your little panel on the front. That's going to make your square to make your things pop up, but we're not going to use it like this. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it all the way around just so while we're building it, you can kind of get used to what these two different things are going to look like. And you'll know this one is on this side, this one with the scores on the right, and the bigger one, the scores on the left. Okay, so now let's go ahead and change these colors. We're still in edit, but if anything has a score line or a pen line on it, you cannot change colors in edit. You've got to go to layers. So usually it's pretty far down. If you have it clicked, you will see that it's gray. Okay, but we just want the card part, so we are going to make that part gray. And you see down here where it says basic cut, you're going to go here. We're going to do this in a bright white. There you go. We're going to do the same thing here. This is probably up at the top. There we go. And we're going to also change this to bright white. Okay, there's that. Now, we need our inserts. These are all going to be the light blue inserts. I mean, if you just did it like this, it'd be kind of boring, right? So we are going to do, first let's do the bigger card. I'm going to take the layers off. And we need 2 squares. So we're going to go into shape. We're going to hit square. And we're going to hit square again. Okay. So I'm going to move this down. We'll do that one here in just a second. So you've got 2 squares. The smaller inserts are going to be we're going to go back to edit. You're going to unlock it again. The width is going to be 2 inches. Okay. And the height is going to be 6.5 inches. 6.5. Okay. And then this one is going to be well, that's the height. So let's do it in order here. This one's going to be 4.5. 4.5. And then again, the 6.5 on the height, same as the other one. Okay. There you go. Now, these are going to, let's go ahead and change the colors before we duplicate. So they're going to be the light blue. And this one is the light blue. So this one, of course, goes here. You're going to have about a 1/4 inch all the way around, like that. There you go. And we need 2 of these. So you're going to go back to Actions, and you're going to hit Duplicate. Okay. I always change sizes and colors before I duplicate anything, because then I'd have to do it twice. Okay, there is that. Your base of your card is finished. And now we're going to do this little small part. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing. We are going to go to Shapes. We're going to do 2 squares. Okay, here we go. This one is going to be 4.5 wide. Okay, and the height is also going to be 1.5. Okay, just like the smaller square. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I put it in the wrong thing. The width, oh, no wonder it changed. I forgot to unlock the little button, so it's going to keep its aspect ratio. If I want to change this on both sides, then I must hit the unlock button. And what did I say this was? 4.5. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and do the colors again. This one you can do, this one you can do through Edit, just like we did these, because they don't have a score or a pen. Oh, sorry, I had the wrong one picked. So we're going to change these to the light blue also. There we go. And we need a duplicate of this. So you're going to go back to Actions and going to hit Duplicate. Okay. Up. Okay. Oh, yeah. Look, I did it again. I do this every once in a while. I really, really try to make sure that I do it right. And they changed this, and I'm not used to it, so I'm really trying to get better at it. Okay, I'm going to lock it back. They're 2 inches instead. Sorry about that. If you don't unlock the button, it's going to make the height and the width the same. Okay, because it thinks like if you're doing writing, you don't want to change it because it make the writing all look funny. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and drag my finger or my mouse all the way across these and group them up, just because it'll be easier for me on both of those. See, so now I can move them around. So like that. Okay. Okay, there you go. This is going to be about right there. It's not perfect. Okay, now let's do our cake. Now this one we're not going to be unlocking because we don't want to make it look funny. So the cake is going to be 3.5 height. Some of these images, I'm going to change the height. Some I'm going to change the width. It just kind of depends on what works for that specific image. So the height on this is going to be 3.5. So not much bigger. There we go. And then we're going to go back into layers again, because this is not white. It's kind of an off-white, and we want to make sure. And the pink is just a base, and we don't need that. So I'm going to highlight that, go into Edit. See, we want this bright white that's down here on the bottom in the corner. There you go. No use of having different whites. We just want to them all the same, and then it's easier for us to cut out. Okay, when this happens, see? Because you don't have to move any of this if you don't want to. I am going to kind of put these in where they go as we're making them. So it'll be easier for you to kind of picture what we're going to do once we get on the desk. Now, you saw where that cake was back behind everything. You go into Edit and you hit this Arrange. And you can, do it by steps, or you can do it either send all the way back, send all the way front. So that's what we did. Now, we've got our writing, our phrases. Okay. Now, oops. Okay, one of these is going to be, first let's go in and do ungroup, and then I can explain what I'm doing here. Okay, we do not need this frame. So I'm going to, we got rid of the frame part, we just need this part, okay? And you've got 2 of these, and they're going to be different sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Actions and Duplicate. Okay, so this one for the Let the Journey Begin here, 1.75 width, go into Edit. It's our thing is unlocked, which is what it should be, 1.75. Look at that. And 2.34 high. 2.34. There we go. Now, normally I will round things out to make the sizes easier for you. But on this one, I've got to fit it in here. So you're going to have kind of some funky numbers. And this one is going to be for the Happily Ever After here. And it is 1.75 wide. Same thing. Okay, 1.75. There we go. And the height is going to be 1.31. There you go. Just like that. And we're going to both turn the colors. You're going to go back to edit. And these are also going to be the bright white. This one over here. Don't worry, we're going to get all these colors changed out and you won't have hardly any left in that line. So now for the journey phrases. Now this one, we're going to make sure we have our button locked down there. And it is going to be 1.8 high. So you're going to go height. Make sure your thing is locked. 1.8. There we go. And I am going to move it over onto the side. Again. There we go. Just like that. And it's going to go on just like that. And I'm going to group them together so it's easier for me to move it around the board. You don't have to do that right now. I'm just doing it so we can kind of keep everything in our head the right way. Now, this one is going to be 1.5 wide. Okay, so we're going to go edit. We're going to go width 1.5. Now, I want to say something about this. You don't have to do all this. There we go. We are not going to use the red hearts. We are not going to use the I'm your. Okay. Now, I will get rid of the red hearts and let me show you how you do that. Okay, you're going to go to actions. You're going to hit ungroup. Since these are a different color, that they're going to ungroup and I'm going to delete those. Okay. But as you can see, the ungroup is gray now. So it's not going to ungroup that. If it was something big, then I would work on slicing it out. But this I'm yours, little bitty tiny. It's not going to waste you any paper. So just go ahead and cut it, but we're not going to use it. Okay, we're just going to use the Happily Ever After. And see, that goes there. And I'm going to group that and move it up here where we can see it. And yes, again, it goes to the back. We're going to bring it to the front there. And that way we can kind of pay attention to kind of what we're doing here. Now, the hearts. We are going to ungroup these. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now, these have 3 layers to them. We don't need these 2 layers. Okay, so you can drag and delete those. Okay. Now, I am going to do the slice feature on this because I want to change each one of these hearts individually. And let me show you how to do that. If you don't mind, you can leave them like this and you make 2 copies. But let me show you, this is a really neat trick. If you have something that you don't want or you want to separate it from everything else. I got from shapes, I pulled up another square. I'm covering one of the hearts that I want to slice away. And then I'm going to drag my finger across both and I'm going to hit the slice button. So now we have that one and we have this one. We don't need this anymore. We're going to delete it. Okay. And these are exactly the same. This one's just been cut out. And we're going to need 5 of these. So I actually need to do this thing again. But this is a really good nifty treat to know because when you want to do something and you can't because they're all stuck together, this is the way to get them undone. Okay, now we've got 2 here, then we've got 2 here, and then we've got 1. So let me give you the dimensions for these. Now, both of these are the same. Okay, And let's see, these are going to be 1 inch. Okay, so you're going to go into edit, and they're going to be 1 inch in height. There we go. Okay, and then these two, well, I'm going to have to do these individually because they're not exactly the same, are going to be 0.7 high, 0.7. And this one's going to be 0.7, 0.7. And this last little guy is going to be 0.5 height. All of these are heights, okay? I didn't catch my point. That's a little big for what we need. Okay, now let me move all these kind of up together. We're going to change all of these to white. Okay, now when you've got them all together like this and you don't have a pen line or a score line on them, you can drag your finger or your mouse and capture all of them, and you can change all the colors at the same time. Even though you got a question mark there, ignore it. Okay, you're going to go up here and we're going to change those to the bright white. Boom, done. Look how easy that was. Okay, these, I'm not going to put them exactly where they're going to go once we get them on paper. Oh, I changed the size. But I am going to put them up here just so we can kind of keep our perspective. Now look. You've almost done everything you need for the base of the card. Now, we need the little supports that go inside the square that are going to hold the supports that hold all of these guys. So we've got 2 more things we've got to do. We are going to go back into shapes again. We need a square. Okay. And these are going to, you'll see, I'll show you exactly what it is as soon as we get to the craft table. I made a sample and everything's different colors so you can really see what we're talking about. So right now, this square, I need it to unlock, and height is going to be 1 inch. Okay. And width is going to be 3.75. Okay. And these are going to be light blue. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and change it. There we go. Now, I got another tip for you here. I'm going to move all of this stuff down a little bit because I want to put this back in the 0. Okay, and I'm going to bring it up so you can see what we're doing. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this twice. I need 3 of them. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, and we're going to stack them one on top of each other. Okay, you can tell by the orange lines when you have them. I mean orange. Where did I get orange? That's so silly. The purple or pink or whatever color you'd like that. Okay, there's our 3 pieces. But each one of these needs to be scored. Okay, now the reason I stacked all these up together is you can do this with 1 score line. Why? Because they're all the same color. Why? Because the Cricut machine, when it's cutting out, it does the score line first. So it's going to draw the score line, and then it's going to come back and cut out the squares. So we don't need a separate score line on every single square. We'll just make 1. Well, 2. Okay, so we need, we're going to go back into shape. So we need another line right here. And these scores are going to be 5/8 of an inch from either side. Okay, so first, we know this score line is going to be 3 inches, so let's change the height here. As you can see, it has no width because it's a line. There we go. Now, if you've got it at 0, 0, then on this side, it's going to be right here at 3. Okay, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks from the end. Do you see that? Okay, that's 5/8 of an inch. Now, we just need to duplicate this line. So we're going to duplicate. There we go. And we're going to come right over here, and you're going to go 1 tick to the right of half. Over here on the 3 end, you do 1 click to the right of the 3. And this one, I'm going to have to make it a lot bigger for me to be able to see this. Okay. Then sometimes Cricut does not cooperate. Okay, you've got both of your score lines. We are going to select all of them by dragging our finger or our mouse across. We grab them all, and then we're going to hit attach. And this tells Cricut to draw the score line, and then cut out these 3 rectangles. Okay, those are going to be our support for our for all these little guys right here. Okay, now I'm going to move this back up. Oh, I forgot to group it. Oh well. Here, let me go back down here. I don't know how these guys got out of whack, but they did. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drag my finger again and group these so I can move it all around and get it out of you guys' way. Okay, it didn't grab this one for some reason. There we go. Okay, now everything that you need minus the pop-ups is here. Okay, and we're going to do all these nice little pop-ups here in just a minute, but we need the strips of paper that they sit on the top of. Okay, so that get glued onto these. Okay, so first we're going to do, of course, another square. When you don't have a base, I've done all of those really intricate pop-up cards. I've finished all of them, and this one I have to kind of build from the base. So like I said, a lot of time here, not very much time on the craft table, so it balances out. So I need to make this one, and it's still unlocked. The width is going to be 1 inch, and I need the height to be 3 inches. Okay, and it's going to be light blue. There we go. And I need 3 of those. So we're going to go into actions and duplicate. Okay, there's 3 that size, but I need 2 a longer size. So I'm going to duplicate 1 more just so we don't have to go back around and do it all. And I'm going to change this to the height is 4.5. I just need 2 longer ones. There we go. And then we'll go back to actions and duplicate. There you go. There is all of your things that you're going to glue these guys onto. Okay. So now everything is ready. And if you use the same color as your background, then these will disappear. I bet when you looked at the thumbnail and when you saw me in the intro, I bet you didn't even notice those. That's because they're the same color as the background. So let's start working on all of our little guys here. Okay, now I'm going to change some colors on all of these again, so I don't have to cut them and cut, 5 million little things. Now, the good thing about all of this, except for, of course, the card part, you can use your scraps. These are all small pieces. And so making cards is a great way to get rid of your scraps. So on the glasses, let's go ahead and make their size. Make sure your button's locked in between your height and your width, and they are going to be 1.75 high. There we go. Yeah, all of these are going to be little because remember they've got to fit on the up there in that one little panel right there. Okay. Then we need to go into layers. We're going to change some colors. We are going to leave the glasses black. You don't need the pink part. That's your base. These are going to be the background champagne. Whoops. Well, actually, this is going to be the color of the bubbles. And we're going to want to do it that same dark color as the champagne. So you're going to go to edit, hit this, and you want this dark gold. Okay. Okay, look, you can't even hardly tell they changed because really basically it's the bubbles. We want this champagne the same color as what's coming out of the champagne bottle. So we are going to make that this lighter yellow. There's also medium yellow, but we'll deal with that here in just a minute. There we go. Okay, on the your glasses are done. Okay, on the champagne bottle, none of the colors are going to change, but we are not going to be using the little drops or the cork, which again, they're tiny. It doesn't matter if it cuts it or not. So we're going to go back over here. Let's go find it. It should be gray. And all the colors should be just fine right there. So all we need to do is change the size. Hold on. I've got them all written here, 1.5 high. So make sure it's locked, and you're going to do 1.5 height. There we go. Oh, it did 0.5. 1.5. There you go. Okay, there's your champagne. It's done. Okay, so those two are done. This one is easy. We're going to change its color to black. The reason that I changed this to black was I wanted to kind of help it tie in with all the other stuff that we've done on the base of it. And it is going to be 1 inch high. So we're going to go into height and hit 1. There you go. That one's done. And I don't think I've mentioned that, but, you know, you don't have to do this in light blue and all white. If you know what the wedding colors are, do it in the wedding colors. If you'd rather do it in black and burgundy, do it in black and burgundy. I mean, it's your card. You get to choose. Okay, so all we have left are the rings. Now, on these rings, I changed. I don't want a green stone in the ring. I don't know why it's green, but maybe another country likes to do green. Okay, and so I want... Now, if you have some shiny gold paper you want to use, go for it. Or if you have some silver glittery paper you want to, you know, use a little scrap of to make the diamond, great, do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it just the same bright white. There we go. See? And the ring part, which is this part right here, is going to be that same dark that's in the champagne. So we're going to go up here. Everything that we're using in the car is in these top ones. So we want the dark gold. And we will double check this here in a minute, and I will show you how to do that. The pink is going to stay the same, but what I want is I want to cut the base of the flowers in that same green as the champagne bottle. So I can do the same thing. I can click this, do blah, blah, blah. But instead, I want to show you sync in case you have never seen it. I see something that we did forget. Okay, remember this, let the journey begin up here at the top? You see how those hearts are red? We want those to be light blue. Now, once you're in sync, you can move these around so they're in the right color. You're going to hold down the 3 little lines to the right, and you're just going to drag it to what you want. And this one, we want them light blue, so we're going to turn them. Now, see? They're light blue. Okay? These are 2 different blacks up here at the top, just because whoever made the graphic of the Let the Journey Begin picked a different black. So we are going to make it all the same black. There we go. Okay. We've got the pink. We've got these for the champagne. Those are all right. We want both the champagne in the glasses and the champagne coming out of the champagne to be the same yellows. Okay, so we've got those changed. And this is, like I said, this is a medium yellow, so that's totally up to you if you want to try it. And then we've got all the white. So the only thing we need to change is the green. And why cut out a whole different green when you've already got a green all set up? So we're going to drag it way up here, and we're going to put it with the champagne. There you go. See how that changed that? Okay, I haven't changed these 2 sizes yet, but I'm going to here in just a minute. I just wanted to show you how this sync works. So we've got black, green, blue, pink, all your different yellows, and white. Look, everything's the right color now. Okay, so I'm going to take off sync. There we go. And we need to get these the right size. These are going to be 1 inch high. So we're going to change the height to 1 inch. There we go. I just wanted to keep them big so I could so it was easier for me to show you how their colors change. And the bouquet is going to be 1.5 inches high. Okay, 1.5. Okay, you're done. Look at that. Okay, there you go. You're all set. Go cut all of this out. Okay, and one more thing before I send you to cut it out and then meet you at the craft table. I need for this to go fast, and you don't need to watch me glue all this together. Okay, you don't need all that. You know how to do it, right? So I need you to glue this. I need you to glue this. I need you to glue this without the I'm your. And you just put it right in the middle. It's easy. And I need you to glue these 4. This is only 1, so there's nothing to glue on that one. Okay. If you will go ahead and do all these, get them all glued up and everything, when we get over to the table, it's going to be quick and easy. Okay. So go cut all these out, glue those, and I'll meet you over at the craft table. Okay, guys, here we go. We're here at the craft table. As you can see, I use this a lot. Let me give you a few quick tips. I put everything on separate paper plates. It's just easier for me to keep track of everything. And while we were on the canvas, I asked you to go ahead and glue all these things together, because then putting it together is going to be quick and easy. Okay? So you're going to spend a little more time on the canvas, but it won't take you as long to put it together. I use art glitter glue. It's really good paper-to-paper glue. It dries really fast. I buy it with the small container and the refill and this little bitty fine tip. So it just puts out a little tiny bit of glue. A little bit goes a very long way. Okay. Next thing. I made a sample. It's hard for me to film putting these supports in because I'm filming from above and I have to put these inserts in from above. So I wanted to show you exactly what we're doing before we do it. This is your main part of your card. This is not to scale. This is your main part of your card. This is the little strip that goes in the bottom. And these are what's going to support your pop-ups. Okay. And so when it closes, you got this long panel. And when it opens, there you go. And then your pop-up things will be right here. So hopefully that makes sense. And you can see here, the first one butts up right against the back, and this one butts up against that one, and this one butts up against that one. And there you go. You've got your really good spacing there. So let's get going. I love these cards, and I think they are super cute. So I decided to go ahead and design them on. These were really popular back about 5 or 6 years ago in the card making community. And I don't know why they didn't catch on because I absolutely love them. Okay, first, and I always dry fit everything, which means I get it all put in here when it's dry. And then I know exactly where I want to glue it. So first we're going to do the big panels on the main card. You're going to have about 1/4 inch all the way around. So let's do that very quickly. Like I said, this one is not going to take as long putting it together, as long as you've got all your pieces, put together. There you go. Now, one of the things that I do like to do, because I just think it makes the card look better, is I want to make sure that these are even all the way across. Okay. Up and down, yes, but across means more, I think, to help, to make it look better. But if you mess up, don't worry about it. It's a handmade card. That's part of its charm. Right? Okay, let's put this one in right there. Okay, it's going to be hard for me to tell if I've got them straight across because I have to have this so far away from me so I don't get my head in your video and I'm used to doing everything where I can either stand up or lean over so I can see. There we go. And then let's do it on the smaller part too. Okay. And then you'll already have your card constructed. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Again, you're going to have about 1/4 inch all the way around. These cards, they look complicated, but they're not. And I'll pull this one up real quick. Now, if you are going to use this glue, you better be fast. because it glues really fast. I must miss this corner. I just want to make sure I get all the edges, or it dried after I pulled it up. There we go. Let's do better on the next one. Okay, now let's do this. Make sure I get all my corners. There we go. Same thing. Quick, easy. And you are already on your way. Okay, those look pretty even. Again, hard for me to see. But also, again, it's a homemade card. That's part of the charm. And it shows your love that you took the time and effort to do something truly special for a hugely special day. Okay, just about right there. Oh, it's a little bit crooked. I'm going to pull it out really fast. Move it up just a little bit. Like I said, it's hard for me to see because I have to sit so far back. Okay, there you go. Your base is done. Look at that. Look how quick and easy this is going. Okay, now you want your 2 panels to your left. And on this one, you want your 2 panels to the right. Okay, remember on the canvas, I switched it. We made it like this, but then I turned it over because that's the way we're going to use it. Okay, so how we're going to do this, we're going to do about an inch, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. It's not exact, and it doesn't have to be. If you want to measure, then you're more than welcome. Okay, now we are going to glue this square down and half of this over here. No glue is going to go in between these 2 folds, and no glue is going to go in between these 2 folds. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, remember I just showed you the square? Okay, see? You see that? Let me see, make sure I'm in the right spot. You see how that forms the square I was talking about? So you only want glue here and here. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do about an inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that, whatever you think looks good. It's your card too. So, okay, that looks good right there. So I'm going to lift this up while I'm holding down the rest of the other side. Make sure I get the corners really good. You don't want those lifting up. And then you're just going to put it down just like that. Okay. And then on this side, again, no glue here. We're only going to glue this square right here. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to figure out where my fold is. I'm going to put my finger right there so I know not to put any glue farther than my finger. Okay. There we go. We're good. And again, this art glitter glue dries really fast. So I can go ahead and do this. Okay, look at that. Look how great you're doing. Okay. Now, it's going to be easier for us to do the rest before we do the pop-up part. We'll do that part last. Just because once you do the pop-up card, it's going to sit like this, and then you've got to try to glue everything. You know, it's too much trouble. Okay, now these will be last, of course, because those are the pop-ups. And so we're going to do this next. Okay, so the wedding cake goes here. The Let the Journey Begin goes here. Happily Ever After goes here. And then your hearts are going to go right over here. Now, the bottom of this cake is going to be even with the bottom here, okay? But it's going to overlap a tiny bit right here. And hold on, let me pull this off real quick. And let me show you. So you don't want to glue, you know, this little corner right here. And I think I'm going to pull it over just a little bit. Do you see where that bow is? It's going to line up pretty much just right there at the fold. Okay. Now, because look what happens when we close it. You're going to get let the journey begin, and your little cascading hearts right here. And that's all you're going to see when they first open it. And then boom, the other words, your pop-up. Okay. So that is my reasoning. So let's put aside the little signs first. Let's go ahead and do the cake. I've got a little tiny piece here that didn't get glued down. I usually try to make sure all these little curlicues are, you know, have a little tiny bit of glue so they don't get caught on anything. So again, we are going to overlap this, and I'm going to bring that bow up to right next to the fold. Okay. But the important thing is you will not glue this little tiny square right here, because it's going to, when you fold, it's going to stick out a little tiny bit. Okay. So the easiest way for me to do that is while I'm holding it down, we're going to do the same thing we did before. You can either glue the card part or you can glue the wedding cake part. That's your choice. But for me, I want to make sure I get it right in the right spot, making sure I get the little corners. The good thing about this glue is that it dries clear. I got a little bit on the front. There we go. Now I want it even and straight along the lower part of the white. Okay. You see that? You see how this part right here is just going to float in the air? So we only want to run glue kind of diagonally down here. Okay. Don't go in this little part. Okay. So I'm going to lift this up now, and I am going to glue the rest of it to this one part of the panel. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Okay. See where it's going to stay open here? Okay, now let's get our little signs on. Okay. And you can put this as high or as low as you want. I don't want to overlap the cake. So, you know, I put it pretty close to the top. And this one is going to go into this panel right here. See, since you went ahead and got it all glued up, this is going to be fast and easy. And you do not need to watch me glue simple things together. You are way too good at this to even worry about that. Okay, look how good you're doing. All we got left to do is the hearts. And then the whole card is done except for the pop-up. So we are doing really, really good. Where's my hearts? Okay, we've got 5 hearts. Design principles. Of course, I don't know the exact reason for this, but design principles are odd numbers. 3, 5, 7. So that's what I usually try to do. And we're going to go, hold on, I got a little bitty piece on here that's sticking up for some reason. Okay. Then you're going to do the 2 bigger ones, then the 2 medium ones, and then you've got one little guy right here. And so it's going to be like a cascading heart. And you may want to go like this and kind of move them a little bit. There we go, like that. So they show up when you fold the card. Okay, so there's that. So these aren't nearly as important, so I can pick them up and glue them where I want them. But I'm going to keep them, you know, kind of where I had them. Okay. And we'll get these guys in. And then all we got left to do is the pop-up. I told you that if you went ahead and glued all that stuff for me, that this would go really fast and easy. Okay. Now, I do tell everybody this on my videos with pop-up cards. Try to leave this out and let it completely dry. Okay. So because you don't want some glue on here, when you put it in the envelope, it glues to the inside of the envelope. Or when you fold it down here, that any of the pop-up or any of this glues onto each other. Okay. So you want to leave it open for as long as you can. And speaking of envelopes, I bought a ream. It depends on how much, you know, cards you're going to be making. But I bought a ream of copy paper, larger copy paper. It's 12 by 18 to make envelopes up because a lot of mine are mailed and I don't want to have to worry about them being too heavy. So if you want to do that, the link is in the description. So, okay, look at that. Look how great you're doing. We've been only doing this a few minutes and look, you've already done. Okay, so now the drama. Okay, you've got your 3 supports and they have scores on them. So like I showed you when bending the card parts, I stick my fingernail in there. It just seems to help them bend, just like that, along the right score line. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and bend all 3 of these. This right here is going to be the most technical part of this whole thing. So, but still easy. Okay, so we've got all those folded just like that. And these are represented by the yellow. And I'll show you this again. The first one butts up right against the back of the card. The next one butts up against that one. And the next one butts up against that one. So as long as you put all of these, you want to keep them even with the top of this. See? So they don't show. And you do that, you're golden. So let's go ahead and put these in. Okay. And like I said, it's the reason I show you that is because it's going to be hard for you to see what I'm doing because I'm doing it vertically and I'm also filming vertically. So we're going to put, the best thing to do is fold these in pretty hard, you know, so they kind of stay folded in. Okay. Let me make sure you can see all this. And then I'm going to put glue on both of these tabs. There we go. There we go. Just like that. And then I am going, these edges are going to butt up against the back, just like this. Only they're going to be glued here and here. Okay. So I'm hoping you can see what I do here. I'm not going to bend these flaps out until I get it where I want. Okay. So I'm going to put it right here. There we go. We're going to slide it down. It's actually easier for me to do this side better because I want to make sure that it's even. Here, I'm probably going to, it's probably going to be easier for me because I can't bend over and see the top. Okay. Okay, do you see that? It's butt up against the back and it's glued to this side. And now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. We're going to bend this out, make sure it hits the very back of the card. Just like that. Can you see that? Okay, to make sure you got it right, because it's got to fold, remember? So there we go. Look, you already got your first one in. And we're just going to repeat that by 2. Okay, so let's do the next one. Again, fold it way in. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing, only it's going to butt up to this first one that you've already put in. Now I'm going to turn it to the side so I can see what I'm doing because I can't get up above it. And again, the shorter wall is easier to do first because you can see better. Okay, and then you're going to do this other side and make sure that the edges hit the edges of your other fold. Okay, of your other support. There you go. There. Now see? You see how they butt up against each other right there? Same on this side. And then fold it to make sure that it's going to fold right. There you go. Look, we're almost done with this part. Okay, now again, fold it down. Put glue on your tabs. There we go. And then we're going to do the exact same thing and butt it up against this one. So I'm going to turn it on its side so I can see. I'm going to slide this in. Okay. And it, like I said, it's easier to do the short wall because you can see exactly where you're going. Okay. It's actually easier to do it on the side. I'm so used to doing it from the top when I'm by myself and not filming. And now I have realized it's actually easier to do it from the side. Look at that. Look at that. Look, you've already done it, and that's the hardest part. We're almost done. Okay, so now let's get our pop-ups ready. And I am going to show you how I like it, and I just think it looks better. Now, on your supports, as long as the things that are supporting your pop-ups are the same color as your background, they're going to disappear. I bet when you looked at the thumbnail or you saw my intro, you didn't even notice those supports. Why? They're the same color as the background, okay? So they just blend right in. So double check that you can bend all your things. Okay, now here are your little pop-ups. Of course, you can put these anywhere that you would like. I kind of played around with it and decided that I want the champagne and champagne glasses to be at the top. Let me move this over where you can see. Okay. Now, this is a personal preference. I think it looks neater. I do not want this square to show. Okay. So I am going to cut this right along here so you hide this square top behind the champagne bottle, okay? And you can use a pencil if you want and trace along. It's not that serious. So I'll show you the easiest way I have found to do this. And I just, the same as we did up front with like the cake, I just pick a spot and go ahead and put a little dot of glue on there. Okay, so now it's where I want, but this side is not glued down and I can kind of get, I don't know, up under it. These are old Cricut scissors. I don't know if you've ever seen old Cricut stuff, but I've had a Cricut ever since the very first one came out. And these were the first set of tools you could ever buy on Cricut. And as you can see, they're all beat up. I've used them so much. And they had this little chisel kind of thing, which I use to take things off of the mat. But look, isn't that funny? So anyway, I like to use a small pair of scissors. And what I'm going to do, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want it showing behind my champagne. Okay. So I'm going to just clip. And now that you get to the part where it doesn't have any glue, you just boom, just like that. See? Okay, and then you're going to finish gluing it. Okay, just run it right along this diagonal that we just cut. There you go, just like that. Now, do you see the difference that makes on whether the corner, you can see the corner and whether not? Look. See the difference? It looks so much better that way. Now, on the champagne glasses, and I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, these are all done with the longer pieces, okay? These are all the shorter pieces, but these back two pieces have to be longer. Okay, now, on our champagne glasses, okay, I want to keep this glass, because of the way that it's going to fold to send, I want to keep this glass as close over here as I can. I'm going to use this glass to cover up the square, the edge, and then we'll cut this part off, okay? And I want to make sure that I have both parts of both of the cups. I'll tell you what, I'm going to change that. I think I like this better, because the champagne's going to be doing like this. So, but I want to have this even with the support right here. And that's because of what it's going to look like once it's folded. Okay. So I'm going to glue these left here. I'm just going to glue the very edge of the stem. And then I'm going to turn it. And then, and as you can see, the stem on this is going to be even with this edge right here. There we go. And then I've got plenty of room to trim it off. I'm going to go right behind it just a little bit here. Then do right here along the stem and behind the cup. There you go, just like that. And then I'll go back here and make sure I get really good glue, especially on the base of these cups, because these stems are way too flimsy for them to hold the weight up. Okay, there we go, just like that. Okay, now these last three are all gonna go on here. On the smaller ones, the Mr. and Mrs., I kind of, there, I hid the corners like that. I put it, one corner is where the two M's meet, and the other corner is where the S and the and meet. So you're going to put glue on this Mrs. here at the bottom. Okay, just like that. I'm going to pull it up just a little tiny bit. Let me grab it. There you go, just like that. So your corners are already hidden on this automatically. Then these are going to go on this side, and the bouquet is going to go on this side. Okay. I'm going to kind of match. Yeah, you can see, right? Okay. I'm going to kind of match the end of the green with the edges. Okay. And then you're just going to have this little tiny, tiny corner right here. Okay. On this one, it's easier to glue this part of the bouquet just because, number one, it's bigger. Number two, I don't have to worry about trimming the blue off. Now, if the corners don't bother you and you don't want to go through the hassle of trimming all this part off, then don't. It's your card. You get to do whatever you like. Okay, there. I already clipped off the corner. And then I'm going to go in here and clip right through where the stem is. Just like that. See? And then I'm going to run right along this diagonal and glue everything else down. Glue it down really good. I'm going to get up under the ribbon. Just a couple little dots. Not a big deal. I just want to make sure that they don't catch on anything. Look, there's your bouquet. And now we're going to do the rings. Since these are going to go kind of right next to each other. Oh, here. Let me switch these around. There you go. Here, let me show you. We're going to do this. These are going to be slightly under just because, you want the champagne to pour in there. Then we're going to do this. Then this. Actually, I'm going to have this up and kind of over a little bit to the side. And then this. And now you've got to put these over a little bit to your right because once we glue them in, because your cake overlaps just a little bit. So then you're going to have this right here. Okay, and you can bring it down just a little bit if you want. This is your card. It's your choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match. Okay, let me move all these guys out of the way. And don't leave them stacked up like this in case you've got a little bit of glue somewhere. You don't want to glue them together and have to redo this whole thing. What I'm going to do with these rings, I'm going to make sure that the diamond cuts off, covers up that corner. Okay, and then this, and I turned them a little bit to the left. And again, that's your choice. So I'm going to go right up under this diamond part and glue it on. See? There we go. And then all we've got to do is trim this. And I'm going to trim it so it's on you can trim it so it's on this side of the ring, but I'm going to trim it so it's on that side of the ring. Now, if you are more comfortable tracing that out and then cutting it, go for it. I've done I've done paperwork and paper crafts for so long that it's pretty simple for me. But, you do you. And don't forget, if you mess it up or if it's really bugging you, then all you have to do is cut this off right here. You don't have to remake the whole rings. Cut this off right here and then glue it onto another blue strip. You'll never see the seam. Now, you see where I started and it's almost out. So I'm just going to clip that little bitty last piece out. There you go, just like that. And then we're going to glue it down. it's easier for me to lift them up from here. So as much as I can reach, I'm going to get glue on everything. Oh, I left it for too long. These little bitty tips are great, but when I'm doing filming, I usually stick the pin in between when I'm, in between different parts. But when I'm filming, I don't take the time to do that. Uh-oh, I messed up. Look, I just put glue all the way around it. I'm so used to gluing everything that I went a little glue crazy there. Don't worry about it. You just want to make sure you get it on the blue. There we go. And just like that. And you see, I got a little bit of glue here. It dries clear, so we're good. So look, you are almost done. And the rest of this is the easy part. Okay, so remember I said we're going to do the champagne glasses and the champagne first. That's why their little tabs are longer. Now, what I usually like to do is kind of figure out exactly where I want this. These are going to be down a little lower. Okay, so you don't want this exactly on the fold because you got to give it a little bit of room to fold. Okay, and I'm going to do the champagne pretty close to the top, probably overlapping this blue just a little bit into the white. Again, that is personal preference. And my tab down here, hold on, let me pull this, okay, is actually, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try and show you. It actually is the exact same distance right here. So I'm going to glue this to where the bottoms meet up, okay? But I'm going to make sure I don't get it right next to the fold, okay? So I'm going to stand this back up. I put this on the front of these tabs. None of this is going to show. So here's your champagne. We're going to turn it over. These are about 1 inch wide. So I'm going to put enough glue here, not going over 1 inch wide. Get the corners. There we go. And then I'm going to glue it on this first support a little bit away from the fold. So we've got leeway for when it turns, and I'm going to meet it at the bottom of this. So let me see. It's really hard to show you when things are vertical here. Okay, I can feel the bottom, so I know I'm in the right spot. I want to make sure that I am straight. Okay, now I probably don't have it in there really good, but I also want to make sure it's going to fold. So see that? Boom. Just like that. And I think I actually got it a little too far from the fold. You just want it barely away from the fold. Just a little tiny bit. Okay, now we're gluing in. Okay, we've got the champagne bottle in. And then we're going to do the glasses. And I want to come, right below. But the reason I told you, hold on. The reason I told you is because anything on the right-hand side of this is you're going to see a little tiny bit when you fold it, okay? You're going to have your Mr. and Mrs. And I, like this, okay? And then you're going to have the bouquet, which is fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. Okay, so they're going to stack. So you're going to see that, you're going to see part of this, you're going to see part of that. So we just need to remember that that's what is going to happen. And this should pull over enough to where you can see the whole thing. And that's why I made it black, so it would match with everything else. So here we go. So we are going to put the glasses over on, we're going to, just like we butted this up against the fold, we're going to butt this one up against the other side. And we're going to make sure that it's right, kind of right below the champagne right there. Do you see that? Okay, now let me get some glue on this guy. Okay, and it's going to be on the same support right next to the champagne. Okay, and I'm going to pull this up a little bit. I want to make sure I've got plenty of room for everything else that's going to come in front of it. So see, you're going to see a little tiny bit of the cup, which is fine. Okay, and then we're going to do the Mr. and Mrs. And it's going to kind of go... I can't really decide because I'm not fond of the cups being in the way. I think I'm going to put it over here just so because you can see it better when it's open. And it's going to be open all the time. It's only going to be folded when they take it out of the envelope. So we're not real concerned about what it's going to look like after they take it out of the envelope. Now I'm just checking. Probably about right there. Okay. And I have about, I don't know, half an inch or so. The tab is going below. Don't worry about the tabs going below unless they go below actually this edge. Okay. So I'm going to put some glue right here. And this is another reason why I tell you to leave it open, and you're going to go on the middle support right here. Okay. And we're going to put it right there. I'm going to pull it down some. Okay. You see that? You see how that's going to look? Okay. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Okay. Now, on the rings, because remember how we overlap the corner of this just a little bit? So on the rings, we're going to want to come out from that. Okay. These are going to be almost just right next to each other. Okay. So first, the easiest thing for us to do is do the bouquet. I'm going to put it right up here against the edge so you can see what I'm talking about. You see that? I'm just going to put the ribbon just a little tiny bit above my edge there. Okay. And both of these are going to go on this third piece. The Mr. and Mrs. is the only one that goes in the middle. Okay. So let's put some glue on the back of this guy. Okay, now we're going to butt it up all the way to, oh, you know what? I put my glue too low. Hold on. Again, this is inevitable that you're going to have some glue leakage. So make sure you leave this open. Whoops. Yeah. Okay, look, I'm going to match it kind of where I want, and then I'll just slide it down and glue it. Make sure I've got it butted right up to the edge. There we go. I got a big old piece with glue on it, so I'm going to have to be real careful for a few minutes. Okay, you're not going to see the rings but I'm going to show you this. You're going to have a little bit of the Mr. and Mrs., the rings, and the bouquet showing, which is fine. Again, they're going to display this. This is, the only time they're going to see it folded is when they take it out of, oops, I'm on the wrong support. Both of these are going to go on this front support. Do you see that? Okay. Now this one, you may want to make it a little bit closer. You want to make sure it's down so you can still read the Mr. and Mrs. But this is just the plain part of the ring. That's the reason that I glued it on there the same way. So if it's blocked just a little bit from the cake, this outer edge, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay. I mean, everybody knows what it is. So it's up to you on how close you want it. I'm probably going to put it about quarter inch, like a quarter inch gap between these two. Okay. And I know this is going to go pretty close to the top. So I'm going to put glue kind of about in the middle. But you can go back underneath and throw glue in just like we did on the other things. Okay. Just about right there. I've got it about... Okay, but I don't have it straight. You want it straight. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this fast because I've still got wet glue, okay? But I'm going to make sure that everything folds. So see, you get a little ring, a little bouquet. Cute, cute, cute. And then look. You're done. Look how great you did. And look, if it does show, once you get close to these, then you just go in and just snip it off. Just like that. Look at that. Look what a great card you made. How cute is that? And I told you it was simple. You did a great job. I'm really proud of you.